First cast, guys. First cast with the gold. Come on, buddy. Ah. There's a fish, guys. Feels solid. Whew. Right at the bank. Right at the bank. All right, people. Welcome to Cross Country Bank Angler. I am out here at one of these office park lakes again. This is one that I shot a video at. Guess it was a little over a month ago. Catching some bluegill out here. It was late January, kind of a mild day, and we did pretty well with the panfish, with the bluegill, doing some finesse techniques. But today I'm back here at this pond, and I want to try to catch some bass out of here. You know, I've heard some good reports from this place. You know, good numbers of fish being caught. You know, under the right circumstances, under the right conditions. But you know, this place does get some pressure, so I'm not really sure what's going to work out here. You know, I tried for bass a lot when I was here before, and we didn't really catch any. We did get one bite when we were doing that finesse fishing, you know, the micro finesse, but you know, we threw some crankbaits and stuff like that around here that day, and not a single hit. So yeah, this lake, you know, it does get a good amount of pressure. There were several other people fishing that day when we were here, and I would be shocked if there isn't someone else out here that we haven't seen already, or if someone else doesn't show up at some point during the day. But I'm going to try to stick with this lake. You know, we had some rain yesterday. It rained all day yesterday, but you know, this past week was pretty mild. The water temperature should be, you know, increasing this time of year based on the last week of conditions that we had. And you know, the rain yesterday it wasn't warm, but it wasn't cold either. I'm looking down here right now. This water is looking stained, definitely more stained than last time. A lot of the lakes have been stained lately just because of all the rain we've been having. It's been a really wet winter in my area, but I think today we can make something happen. Hopefully, you know, we've got some wind. It's a windy day. You might be noticing that here. It's actually going to be quite gusty at times, but that can be an asset this time of year. If you're bank fishing, at least, you know, sometimes that wind can, you know, can obscure your lure a little more, and it just increases the likelihood of the fish biting if you have that steady wind sometimes. So hopefully that'll work in our favor today. That's really the goal today. I just want to find some pre-spawn bass, find a pattern for bass today, and hopefully we can catch a couple of nicer ones. That would be great. Hopefully they'll feed up today. It's not very warm. It's around 50 right now. It's supposed to warm up a little bit more, but not much. It's definitely not going to be like a super nice day. So maybe that'll keep a lot of the fishermen inside. But with that being said, you know, if you make it to the end of this video, you know, you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got weekly bank fishing videos here at Cross Country Bank Angler. So don't forget to do that if you enjoy what you're about to see. All right, people. So like I said, you know, we're at the wind-blown side of the lake right now, which is where you really want to be when there's a lot of wind out. The wind's coming towards us, and that's a good thing. The water's fairly stained right now, at least on this side of the lake. Maybe if we get over to the other side, it won't be quite as dirty. But I'm hoping, you know, the wind direction is favorable to where we're standing, and that there's going to be some bass kind of in this little bay-shaped area right here that are willing to feed up. So I'm going to start with a pretty obnoxious bait, something that's going to make some commotion in the water. You know, when it's windy, the water's dirty. I want to have something that's gonna put off some vibration, maybe rattle a little bit. So I'm gonna give this guy a shot here. I caught some fish on this last year, some bass around this time. This is a Cotton Cordell Super Spot lipless crank. This color is called Rayburn Red. You know, Rayburn, or really any red, is generally sort of recommended in the spring. Don't really, you know, I'm not sure what the explanation is for it. Some people say it's because of crawfish. Some people say it's just because the fish are feeding up and it's a brighter color, but it does seem to get me a few fish this time of year to throw some red. I did catch a pretty nice one on a red crankbait last weekend, one of the few fish that I caught. So let's just start covering some water here and see if we can get any strikes. This is also a good bait to throw, you know, a good lure to throw when it's windy out because it's easy to cast. It's not gonna sort of get blown out or knocked down by the wind so easily. We got one, guys. First cast. You're kidding me. I hope that's a good sign. Oh yeah. There we go, guys. Literally the first cast. I'm shocked. All right. Well, that didn't take long. Like I said, hopefully that's a good sign and not bad luck or something. All right, there we go. Kind of washed out looking fish. He's not very big, maybe 10 or 11 inches. Fairly healthy, not super fat, but dude, first cast bass. That's a lot better than last time. Cool, let me get a picture of him and we'll get him back in the water. All right, guys, first cast bass here at the lake. That's a good sign on the red lipless. I'm gonna give him a little toss here. It's kind of hard to get down to the water. See you, buddy. Nice, guys. Like I said, hopefully that's the start of a pattern and not just a fluke catch. See if there's any more kind of out where that fish came from. All right, people, so on this newer setup here, this is like a light, but on the heavier end of like a BFS setup here. So 6'6" light powered rod, the Daiwa Crossfire CS. I think it's a JDM rod. Got it from Bait Finesse Empire. Solo King Acura Hick 50 Pro. And then got 10-pound line on this. And we're gonna toss this X wrap around. Not sure if they'll be able to find this in these conditions or not. It does have a little bit of a shine to it. And you know, a few months ago there was a guy here who did really well on a jerkbait, so I figured I'd start off with that. But we might go to like a more obnoxious jerkbait. I generally throw pretty small jerkbaits, so that's kind of why I went with this setup, like a 1/4 ounce, but I could downsize, could upsize. There's a fish, guys. Feels solid. Stay on, buddy. On the jerkbait. All right. Oh, that's a chunk. That's a chunk, guys. Much better than the last one. All right. The jerkbait is on. Let's get a look at him. That's a much healthier one. Look at the belly on that. The belly on that fish. Yes. This is a fish that was feeding up, guys. This is probably a pound. Maybe a little more, getting like that, maybe 13 or 14 inch range. Healthy fish. That one felt good too on that setup. That light power rod. That guy gave us a good fight. Let's let him go. All right, guys, we're out here on a windy day in early March, tossing the jerkbait, and we got hit by this nice chunk here. Let's let him go. Pretty bass, guys. Pretty bass. Nice. Hit it, guys, on the pause. We were just letting it hang there. Not as big. Nice. All right, guys, we're figuring something out here. I hope so, anyway. That was a good hit, the way he grabbed it. All right, there's our fish. He's the smallest one of the day, 10 inches at best. His eye's messed up. He's got some injuries on the side. I'm gonna let this guy go, no picture. His other side's looking a little better. Maybe he's been caught before. I think we got one, guys. Doesn't feel big, but I think it's a fish. No, it's not. What is that? Oh, yeah, it is. Dude, look at this lazy bass. He barely fought at all. He's tiny. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, he's fighting now. He's out of the water. That's interesting. Interesting strategy here, sir. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoop, 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 whoop. Too many hooks. Too many hooks. Don't do all that. It's kind of a strange looking fish here. Hold on, buddy. All right, here's another one, guys. Not many big ones today. This is maybe a, 9.5 or 10 inches. He's got kind of big eyes for his body and very little markings. But that's another one for the red lipless. That super spot, guys. There he goes. I'd love to catch some slightly bigger ones than that. That was a pretty small one. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a little experiment here just for maybe 10 casts or so. I'm gonna swap colors and see if we get a bite. Swapped over to this gold super spot. Just wanted to try it for a second, something that's gonna throw some flash, with all this wind and the sun is out and everything, dirty water. I wonder if this flash, maybe we'll get a bigger fish, or just maybe it'll be a little more effective. I'm gonna give it like 10 or 15 casts from this spot. We've caught 2 fish on the red. If we don't get a bite from here on this, then we'll switch back to the red, since that's been working today. First cast, guys. First cast with the gold. Get over here, get over here. All right, guys, we might have just figured something out here. All right, there's one. It's like an 11-inch fish. She's a little healthier, a little stockier than some of the others. Yeah. First cast with the gold, guys. Maybe that's the move today. Maybe that's going to be a little better. That is bass number 6 today, guys. We had 2 on the jerkbait, 3 on the red super spot, and 1 on the gold. Let's get him out of here. This wind is crazy today, by the way. See ya, buddy. There's a fish, I think. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Ha-ha! Let's go, guys. 2 on the gold. Dude, it's a lipless crank day out here. All right, about the same size. It seems like most of the fish in here are around this 10 to 12 inch size, guys. We really only had one like kind of nicer one that kind of broke away from that pattern a little bit, but they're not unhealthy. This guy's pretty chunky, so could be that there's just a lot of bass in here and not a whole lot of forage, but we're getting bites, so I'm not really complaining, but I would like to catch a couple of bigger ones. All right, see you, buddy. All right. Like I said, guys, it seems like there's just a certain speed with this lure where you get the most vibration. That's how I like to when I like to retrieve it most of the time, is just when I feel like I'm getting the most vibration out of it. It's not fast or slow. It's just kind of a moderate speed, and this thing, you can just feel that thing wobbling in the water. Guys, I wasn't recording and we just snagged a grass carp. I think we snagged him. Or did he try to eat it? Come on, buddy. Ah. Not what we're after today. Come on, give it up. Get back here. Let me get you unhooked, take a look at you. Need my grippers, I think, guys. Oh, there we go. All right, he's off. I don't think he'd actually eaten it. It was close to his mouth, but grass carp don't eat smaller fish. So I think we just, maybe he saw it and, turned towards it and got snagged or something. It didn't seem like he had it in the mouth, but that's probably the biggest fish in the lakes, is going to be one of those grass carp. There's one, guys. That feels better. That feels like a better one. Stay hooked, buddy. Here we go, guys. All right. Another one on the cold super spot, guys. This thing's getting some hits. All right. It's the third one on the goal. That's about a 12-incher. Not too bad, guys. Oh, not too bad. He was in the shallow water over here, this other cove. All right, people, we are finding some bass out here in these windy conditions. Let's let this guy go. This is our 8th fish of the day. Thank you, buddy. Whew. Right at the bank. Right at the bank. Oh, nice. That's a fat one. That's a fat one, guys. Whew, right as the wind picked up. All right, hold on, buddy. All right, guys, here's that last fish. About a 12 or 13-incher. Nice little belly on him. My GoPro died there as I was about to de-hook, so switch to the phone real quick. Let's get this guy back in the water. It's our 9th bass today. See you, buddy. Hit it right at the bank. Super spot, guys. It's getting some work done today. Definitely my preferred lipless crank. Overall, guys, it's a good one for bank fishing. It doesn't sink as fast as a lot of other ones do. And the fish just eat it. It's an inexpensive lure as well. You can get one for about $4 or $5. You know, go to Walmart, you can pick one up. I think a few more casts here. There he is. There he is. That's a better one. A little bit. Oh yeah. Lipless crank. Let's go. Super spot, guys. This thing is the truth. Look at that. That's like a 12-incher. Solid. Solid. He smacked it pretty hard. Love it, guys. It's been a while since I've had like a really good day like today on a rattle bait, you know, a lipless crank. Beautiful fish, guys. Pretty washed out from the stained water, but they're eating it. See ya, buddy. Alright, people, so we went ahead and wrapped things up there at the lake. It seemed like the bite that we were on, you know, we definitely had a pattern going today, but it seemed like it was tapering off there. Maybe we were getting some short strikes from fish. A few fish were kind of missing the lure, you know, hitting it late, kind of at our feet. But wow, today was like one of those classic late winter, early spring pre-spawn pattern days. The fish were, you know, the bass were up, they were shallow, and they were pretty aggressive. They were eating, they were chasing lures, and that's just so much fun when you can get on one of those bites this time of year. So to recap here, we caught 2 fish on the X-Rap, the Rapala X-Rap jerkbait. I think it's called a olive shad or olive minnow is the color on that. Surprised we got any hits on that because of how dirty that lake was, that water. You know, we had maybe a foot of visibility in there, maybe less, honestly. But the lure of the day was definitely the Cotton Cordell Super Spot Lipless Crankbait, guys, that rattle bait. We were getting, we got a hit on the first cast of the day with the red one, that Rayburn red color. We caught 3 in total on that color today. You know, red is one of those classic spring colors. But even better than the red today was that gold, that shiny gold one, which we unfortunately lost at the end there, so I'm going to have to go get another one of those for sure, because that thing definitely proved itself today. It's been a long time since I've really had like a really good lipless crankbait pattern like that, but the conditions today really just lined up well for that lure to work, I think. Today, you know, we had dirty water. You know, it's been raining a lot here in my area, so we had dirty water. You know, today it was not super warm or super cold, but we had a strong wind today. Wind speeds were like 15 miles per hour plus from the west as well, which is, I think of that as a favorable direction. I don't know how much direction really matters, but and we had gusts that were a lot stronger than that. So wind plus low visibility water conditions really brought out the bite for the Super Spot, that lipless crank. You know, those are kind of noisy conditions, you know, low visibility, tough for the fish to find things. You know, if you're using like a natural presentation, something really finesse, that's just not, this is not the day for finesse in any way. But you know, that Super Spot, you know, it's got a nice vibration to it, nice little wiggle going on. You can feel it through the rod. You're getting a lot of feedback from the lure. And it's also got a really nice loud rattle. It's got that classic rattle sound. It doesn't have a knocker or anything like that. It's just that classic shaking rattle sound, BB sound. And that just really helps the fish find the lure when the water is dirty like that. I think another important thing was using a metallic finish today. You know, maybe a silvery chrome lure would have also worked. I'm not totally sure. I didn't try that today. But that gold, you know, that's a color that's going to flash really well in the wind. You know, it's going to throw a lot of light. And it's also going to be a little bit better. You know, typically gold is a little bit better in lower light conditions or dirty water. So that's why I went with the gold over a chrome. And yeah, they were just really keyed in on that today. Another thing we caught today was really big. I think the biggest fish was a little over a pound probably. But still a lot of fun. You know, that was a lake we really hadn't spent much time at before, so it was cool to kind of get out there and pick up on a pattern fairly quickly there. I also snagged that giant grass carp today, which was kind of wild. Unfortunately, he has a hook stuck in him still. He just pulled off. You know, it was a really strong fish, and he pulled one of the hooks, one of the split rings off, so... anyway, that was still very interesting, but yeah, the bite is on right now, guys. That early spring, pre-spawn, late winter, that transitional bite, you know, where the fish are really trying to put on some weight for the spawn. Now is the time to start getting out, throwing those reaction lures. You know, especially, you know, if you get these windy days, you know, a lipless crank can be one of your better options. It's a heavy lure. You can cast it and it cuts through the wind really well. I also tried a spinnerbait today, which is normally another lure I like to try when there's some wind. But I didn't get any hits on it today. So, for whatever the reason, the lipless crank was special right now, and it was better than that spinnerbait. So, anyway, had a great day today. Definitely feels like spring is coming back. It's on its way. Always love this time of year. My favorite time of year, for sure. Just a fun day out catching some bass. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And thanks again for watching. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Take it easy.